Hello, and welcome to the 8th Pasture Perspective. My name is Scott. I have here with me NickOnimura.
I predict another train wreck.
And Tailspin.
Howdy.
And today we will be discussing Season 4, Episode 10 of My Little Pony, Rainbow Falls. Nick, you want to go ahead and kick us off with your one-sentence quick thought?
I just wasn't feeling it this episode.
All right, you weren't feeling it. Tailspin, what'd you think?
The whole episode felt like a mess, writing-wise.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in and say I honestly didn't think it was that bad. I found myself more engaged than the last episode. But let's go ahead and let Tailspin pick the first thing that we really want to talk about. What do you want to go on about?
Well, let's talk about the characters.
Let's talk about the characters. Which one do you want to get into
let's start
first?
with Bulk Biceps, seeing as he was named and introduced in this.
All right. Bulk Biceps is, for those who for some reason don't know, the previous Buff Pony, often known as Buff McLarge-Huge, Snowball, Snowflake, Buff McLarge-Huge, and sometimes Horsepower.
I also sometimes call him Slab Bulkhead.
Slab Bulkhead.
Why not?
He is now officially Bulk Biceps. What did you think of Bulk, Tail?
They kind of overdid his whole joke and constantly yelling. I like his name. It kind of fits him, but his name was revealed in, I think, the trading card game.
Was it?
And I think it was. There's like this quote on one of the cards just says and it says Bulk Biceps, and he's in the picture. Somewhere, I think.
I'm looking that up right now, because I play that game and I don't remember it.
Why is he suddenly unable to fly is my biggest weird moment.
Yeah, I noticed that too, that he was in the in the Wonderbolts Academy, and now he can't fly for shit. I noticed that. I'm going to go ahead.
They probably didn't have that thought through.
Well, yeah.
When they upgraded his role for this.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's going to be the case. Is it's just a situation of he didn't have any design. Like he was just a background pony back then, so they just threw him in there.
Yeah,
and
probably
now
should have picked another character for that.
Well, he made for a good gag in that episode. And keep in mind that this is a soft continuity show. Nothing counts until they say that it actually does. And even then they can always just take it back again.
Yeah, but it's like even kids will notice that he suddenly can fly in Hurricane Fluttershy and Wonderball Academy, and then suddenly he can't. I mean, This is kind of stuff that even as a kid I used to notice.
Yeah.
That was a pretty stupid kid.
Anyway. No, overall, as I said in previous episodes, it feels like they're definitely trying to grow the continuity of the show, start laying some things in concrete, and they're always coming from something as soft as the first 3 seasons. We're probably going to see more of these what moments.
Yeah, I have to admit I kind of liked the first 3 seasons when they just didn't care.
I kind of did too, but I'm not going to get after them too hard.
Speaking of other characters, Fleetfoot apparently made an appearance.
Yes, but they did not name her. She is named in the comics, but they did not name her here. Let's talk about Fleetfoot, and while we're at it, the other topic for Bulk is voices. What did you think of the voice castings for Bulk and Fleetfoot? And Soren, because they changed the Soren casting also, or at least the direction on him.
Oh, they did? He hasn't even appeared since season 1, so I didn't even notice it.
I don't even really remember that either.
Yeah. For Fleetfoot, I don't know. I really didn't really care much for her anyway, so I guess it's all right. Bulk biceps fits how he was in the previous episodes.
Yeah, he was at least consistent.
Roid Raged parody.
Roid Rage, that was another name they gave him. That one didn't stick very well. Yeah. Honestly, I honestly didn't much care for really any of the new characters' voice portrayal. I mean, it didn't. I wasn't like, that is just the worst voice ever. I did feel like they maybe added a little more, surfer dude to Soren than he seemed to have in Best Night Ever. But he also only had like 3 lines, so don't have a whole lot to work with there. How is this idea? What do you guys think of the concept of maybe Fleetfoot being the problem in... Well, let's come back to that. Let's come back to that when we get to that topic. Pinky's portrayal. What did we think of Pinky in this episode?
She was hyper. She was all right.
See, I didn't like her in this episode. I thought she kind of went the monkey cheese route.
To be honest, she barely appears in the episode. Mostly because she's just being a cheerleader, so can't really say anything on it.
It wasn't that intrusive.
It wasn't intrusive, you're right. I didn't feel that it had any real value either.
Honestly, if anyone was just reduced to nothing, it was AJ and Rarity. Rarity just pulls cloth out and makes some fashion thing, and and AJ is just eating cupcakes and stuffing cupcakes in other ponies' mouths.
Yeah.
Like what?
All right. Let's move on to Rainbow Dash's character in this. We get to talk a little bit about character growth here.
I feel this is a topic they've done before. Loyalty gets challenged, she does something, loyalty's all right. I mean, this is just such a treaded ground, such a topic that they've done before. It makes me wonder why they're doing it again.
Well, can you give me an example of what you're thinking is most directly relatable to this?
Well, let's see. They've touched upon loyalty in the second season 2-parter. I'm pretty sure maybe it was in Wonderbolt Academy a bit. I don't know. I just feel it's just been done before.
A lot of Dash episodes are quite reasonably, I believe, going to be loyalty episodes, just like Rarity episodes are going to be generosity episodes, and Applejack episodes are going to be honesty episodes, and so on and so forth. It thematically fits.
But it just falls down to how you write it, and this one just really hammers it in with.
It is pretty. It is not subtle. I will totally agree with you on that. But the difference I feel like here is we're looking at the situation in the face of her heroes. How does she choose between her heroes and something that she's already knows is going to let her down? I don't feel like that specific situation is necessarily a retread, but that's just me.
Right.
If you take the global concept of a loyalty episode, then yes, of course, we've had half a dozen of those from Rainbow Dash now, in terms of loyalty conflicts from her. Excuse me. So yeah, I like that she did resolve it on her own. We'll get into the moral a little deeper, in the overall moral a little deeper. But first, I want to poke Tailspin's anger button and bring up the return of Derpy.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm oh my godding at Tailspin's reaction at the actual thing.
I'm fine with Derpy being this little background detail. I'm fine with her being something fans draw. I'm not fine with her appearing in the show. and I wasn't fine with her ever since the last roundup. There was no reason for her to speak, and here she is again, just when I thought we were done with her.
But she didn't
That's all I have
speak.
to say.
But she didn't speak.
Give them time. They'll probably let her speak because they gotta pander to the fans.
I can see. I'm starting to see where you're definitely see what you're seeing in terms of the pandering on that one. That was a lot more blatant than they usually do. I don't feel like they redirected a part of the story just to slip her in.
But this opens the fact that we might actually have her be part of some story, and I really don't care about this character.
I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, we've had direct mentions of Blossomforth, but we haven't had a Blossomforth episode either, as much as a lot of people would actually like that.
Did she even appear in this episode? I'm very disappointed in the lack of Blossomforth.
That is something interesting. Since when were there only 3 ponies in Ponyville? Or Pegasi in Ponyville? That's new.
Soft continuity.
Honestly, I don't know what the story is behind that, and the reason that I probably don't know that story is because it didn't serve the story they wanted to tell. So there is no story to be known. That's my thoughts. Nick, you got a reaction to that thought?
Huh?
Did I lose you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully it makes more sense in the recording, me little rambling. Let's talk about the cold open.
What do we think? The cold open felt really awkward.
I didn't like the cold open either.
Yeah.
I didn't, that's really where the Monkey Cheese Pinky issue really glared at me.
Yeah, I have to agree.
It was Pinky and Bulk interacting. Didn't like it. Didn't work for me. Nick, what do you want to discuss next? Out of all of those so many topics.
Let's talk about the ending of it. The whole, or is it Rainbow Shine again?
All right.
That they did again.
So we have our... Well, you go ahead and introduce the topic. I always introduce this topic. It's your turn.
So, as we see, Enon Rarity Takes Manhattan. That spool at the end had that little rainbow shine at the end. And Megan sort of hinted in a tweet that might be a bit more significant. And here, it does the same thing with that badge, and that might actually hold some truth to it now.
Quite possibly.
It does.
They could be a little bit more subtle with it. They really, when Dash is in the hospital, they just make a little rainbow shine.
Yeah, it's
you already know it's meaning something. I mean, kids aren't stupid. They're gonna get it. You just don't need to just stick it in their faces.
Yeah. Actually, it occurred to me this episode that there may be a mandate behind those little rainbow flashes that may
the rainbow-powered toy line.
The rainbow-powered toy line.
Fuck, I didn't think of it like that.
I just realized that, during the episode.
I didn't want to bring that up before because I don't know if that counts as spoilers.
A toy line's not spoilers, in my opinion. If anyone listening to this is like, oh shit, someone said something that might be in the show but has absolutely no hard evidence other than, a toy line outside the show that exists and some evidence actually presented so far. Sorry, spoiler warning.
That's a really long thought.
Yeah, I was running out of breath halfway through it. Yeah. No, it does add some consistency that, to the, hey, look at this endings, that does call into question for me the other ones that do not involve the little rainbow shines.
I still maintain those are jokes.
And they might
Probably.
be. They might be. But I have argued with you guys for the past 7 Pasture perspectives about those, so we're not going to get into it again.
Can I just bring up how cool the Griffins are? I don't like this episode that much, but seriously, Griffins. New Griffin designs.
I did like them bringing back the Griffins.
Also, I was hoping they'd have a bit more of a role in this episode when I first saw them, but no, they were just there for some minor world building, like the Saddle Arabians.
There's nothing wrong with background world building, and I mean, if you start shoving everything in the viewer's face, they start to get a little fatigued at you bringing all these new things and shoving it in their face. You lose even more focus than you may have already been suffering the loss of. What did you guys think of the pacing of the episode? Did it feel like a short episode? Did it feel like a long episode? Did it, stutter in places? What'd you think?
Well, the pacing seemed average, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more the episode just feels like stuff's happening. I don't know. I can't really say that the pacing is bad, just that the writing is kind of awkward.
Okay. So you felt like that things were happening fairly consistently. It's just you didn't care for the things that were happening.
Yeah.
Nick, anything to add to that?
I don't really have anything else. Tailspin summed it up perfectly.
Got it. Okay.
I think as far as pacing is concerned, this season has been doing pretty well in that regard.
Yeah, there have been a couple minor missteps, but overall I tend to agree.
Yeah.
So let's get to the pink elephant in the room. The moral of the story. The way they developed the moral. I don't really know what I think on the way they developed it. Most of the contention, as far as I've seen, is more related to how the Wonderbolts play into the moral than the moral itself.
I'm honestly not really sure how he got to the moral.
Well,
stuff's happening, and then here we are. There's the moral.
Well, I mean,
I get it's the whole hanging out with the other guys and ignoring your teammates and stuff, but feels awkward. I don't know.
I liked the message of the moral.
Well, the message is all right.
The message was good, and honestly,
the message is fine. It was the execution that was the issue.
Exactly.
In reality, taking the Wonderbolts in a vacuum, taking the expectations we as the viewers had built up around the Wonderbolts out. If it was just another great team, then I feel like the moral would have worked as is.
But since it's a Rainbow Dash episode, we have to have the Wonderbolts.
Yeah. Well, and the one, I don't feel like that was completely superfluous, because part of the issue, or part of Dash's conflict, was that she's got, a starstruck over these ponies already. She idolizes them already, and that the presence of that aspect of them, of that relationship, was the only reason I would even start to buy Dash questioning her loyalty. But on the flip side, where the hell did that come from the Wonderbolts? I have a theory. But first, what you guys have? You guys want to say anything to that before I get to my theory?
Go ahead.
The Wonderbolts were kind of jerks, but it really doesn't surprise me, I guess, because I don't know, maybe someone looks all right when you see him in public, but might be a bit of a jerk privately. And honestly, seeing as they're basically there's this stereotype that good fighter pilots or aerobatic pilots are kind of full of themselves and jerky, so I'm not kind of surprised if that's what they were aiming for.
So here's kind of my theory, is Soren's, kind of just, the talented hanger on. He is thoroughly good enough to hang with them, but none of them really have any deep connection to him. And that's why they were ready to throw him away.
Yeah.
Spitfire, has some. I don't feel like Spitfire. This is completely me making shit up. Do not take this as canon at all. This is me making shit up. Spitfire, is she's the leader of the group, but she doesn't really have much influence, or she doesn't solely dictate the character of the group.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that this is the first time we've seen the Wonderbolts really behave this way, and it's also the first time we've seen Fleetfoot in the group. What if Fleetfoot is the jerk of the team?
Yeah, I've had that kind of guess as well. I guess.
There's really no evidence to support that theory. It's mostly me not wanting to accept Spitfire as a jerk.
Yeah.
And Tailspin, I imagine you have the same issue.
Yeah.
Because you're a complete Tailspin fan.
Spitfire is one of my favorite characters. Pretty big fan of her.
Spitfire is Tailspin's waifu.
Walked right into that one.
Yeah. Nick, anything to throw in on that?
Not really.
Not really. All right. Saw some new assets on a visual aspect. A lot of new assets, actually. New
the
things.
The entirety of Rainbow Falls is quite pretty.
Yeah, the whole new locale. We added a bunch of griffins, completely new models, all 3 unique.
Yes.
And none of them were Gilder recolors. Ton of new clothes. So many new clothes. What did you think of the Cloudsdale uniform?
I think they're great. They're really great. I like them. I think as far as the Wonderbolts and I guess the Cloudsdale team all seem to have really cool uniforms, and I don't know, they kind of have this cool Pegasus-like thing to them.
Honestly, I was not particularly intrigued by the Cloudsdale uniform. Just the silver on silver didn't really do anything for me personally.
All worth seeing is their Cloudsdale.
Oh yeah, but especially on Spitfire, I just didn't feel like it worked on Spitfire. I didn't really notice how it worked on Rainbow because I was too busy.
Did she wear that uniform?
At one point, she did. Yes.
Oh.
How about Pinky's cheerleading uniform?
That was pretty cute. I like that. I like that Twilight is also wearing it at one point. Really looks cute on Twilight. That
was funny. That was funny. Again, I personally didn't care for it, but I understand that it's kind of taking after your elementary school cheerleading team than your college cheerleading team kind of concept. It's just so ludicrously flamboyant. Just stick your hair up in 6 ponytails and
rainbows everywhere.
Rainbows everywhere. Nick, any visuals catch your eye that you went, ooh, that's nice, or ooh, that didn't work?
It was just a whole visually appealing episode in general. Even if I didn't like the episode itself, it was still nice to look at.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Visually, the episode is amazing. Everything honestly, in my opinion, everything just fits. The Rainbow Falls are really pretty. The whole, what is it, a floating island or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
Also, really good looking uniforms, the cheerleading uniforms. Everything in general just looks nice, and it's fun to look at.
Yeah. No, overall, it was a good looking episode. Good, pretty decent sounding episode. Although, like I said, I wasn't too keen on some of the voices, but whatever.
Yeah, I can't really pinpoint which ones, but some of them kind of didn't work well.
All right. Well, either of you have anything else really to bring up?
I don't really have anything else to add to this.
No, I don't think so either.
All right, well, I've been waiting all week to use this line, so I guess it's time we make like it's winter and wrap it up. Thank you, Nick and Tail, for coming out and discussing the episode with me. Thank you, everybody who's listening, for putting up with us again. Yeah, we will see you all next time. Bye.
See you next time.